Looking at the advertising material for Roger Michell's 2022 drama slash comedy film, The Duke. You know, you'd probably be forgiven for thinking that it's something that's only really got entertainment value for boomers. At least, that's what I stupidly thought when I saw the big yellow poster with Jim Broadbent and Helen Mirren sitting on the front of it. But I was on my way home from a film shoot, coincidentally bumped into my dad on the train who was keen to see it, and I thought, you know what, I'm keen for that father-son bonding experience. I'll give it a go. It did take a little while, but ultimately The Duke, as a film, completely won me over. It does sound a bit dramatic, but probably the last 2 years of my life, really, my sort of faith in and optimism in humanity and just the kindness of individuals has declined quite a fair bit.
It's for the greater good of mankind.
Mankind? What about your own kind?
Probably a lot of that came from working in hospitality across or throughout the global pandemic and having stuff happen like being verbally abused for asking people just to do a simple thing like putting on a mask or sanitizing their hands to protect the people around them when they're in sort of a high risk environment that I work in. The Duke is the perfect antidote to that sort of pessimism that I've been feeling recently. Letterboxd user Will Steele sums it up pretty perfectly when he describes this movie in his Letterboxd review as a loving hug of a film. And to be honest, it sounds cheesy, but that's how I felt coming out of this. I'm not going to say too much about the actual movie itself because, let's be real, there are people out there that are way better at actually breaking down plot intricacies and all that kind of stuff. Although I will say Jim Broadbent's performance is both charming but also hilarious at the same time, while George Fenton's musical score is really, really beautiful. The ending of this movie will leave you with a genuine warm fuzzy feeling. And while maybe some parts of it are a little contrived, it is based on a true story, which added a bit more intrigue for me. I also like how it's a period piece. And to be honest, I've written this review and recording this video a few months after watching it. And looking back, it is hard to find faults that I really remember. So yeah, if you've watched this far into me rambling on about this, you've probably realized that this is a bit less of a review and more of a diary about my experience with the film. So I'll say one more thing. Right after I watched this movie, it was pretty late at night. I had to catch a train home back to my apartment. I was going home with my dad. I said, Dad, come on. It's late at night. There's not going to be any ticket inspectors on the train. So with my dad's disapproval, I didn't touch on my mic. But as soon as we hopped on the train, you can guess who was waiting there for us. Mic inspectors. I thought, oh no. I'm in big strife here. Anyway, they come up to us, they check the ticket, and they say it's all good. I go, lucky turn of fate. It must be because I tapped on my Mikey less than 2 hours ago or something. It's a short movie, so it's still touched on. So I guess technically I was still within the 2 hours and hadn't done anything wrong. Anyway, I get to the end of the train line, the main station in Melbourne, which is called Flinders Street, and to get out of that station you have to tap off your ticket as well. I get to the place, to the barriers where you do that. I tap my ticket and it says missing touch on. The lady who's nice, the attendant at the barrier, she lets me through anyway. But it did just leave me thinking that perhaps, maybe, those inspectors possibly just decided to let me off that one time. Just like old mate Kempton Bunton, who's the star of this film, maybe there are actually some kind people left in this world. And when you're looking for that sense of goodness or optimism or positivity, I would really recommend that you watch this movie. It won't disappoint you. And on top of that as well, for me, now every time I think about this movie, I'll think about that memory and also the nice memories of seeing it with my dad. So overall, I give The Duke 4 stars out of 5. thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you are interested in reading a bit more of my film reviews, please consider checking out my letterboxd, maybe subscribing to the channel. If you have seen the movie, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.